Imagine a time long before our own, when the world was vastly different. The skies were filled with strange birds, the ground teeming with life, and towering trees stretched high above, creating an ancient, untamed jungle. In this world there existed a creature so powerful, so terrifying, that it ruled its territory without question. This creature wasn't the familiar Tyrannosaurus Rex, but something even more formidable, the Giganotosaurus, a massive predator that dominated the prehistoric landscape of what is now Patagonia, Argentina. This was a time nearly 100 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period. Picture vast subtropical forests where conifer trees reached towards the heavens, and the air was thick with humidity, buzzing with life. In the distance, herds of sauropods, the enormous long-necked giants, plodded through the dense undergrowth, their massive bodies casting shadows over the forest floor. These lumbering giants were the prey of choice for the Giganotosaurus, and while they moved in groups for protection, the real danger was always lurking in the shadows. Above, the skies were not safe either. Large pterosaurs soared through the air, casting enormous shadows over the jungle below, swooping down to snatch up smaller prey. But beneath this canopy of chaos, the true king of the landscape prowled in silence. With the power to bring down even the largest herbivores, the Giganotosaurus was the embodiment of survival and dominance. What made this predator so unique wasn't just its size or strength, but its design, both deadly and efficient. It was a creature built to kill. Stretching over 40 feet long, it was larger than the T-Rex, but more than that, it was an apex predator with a speed and agility that belied its massive frame. Its long, powerful tail helped it balance, while its razor-sharp teeth were designed for slicing through thick hides and muscle. Yet, despite its size, the Giganotosaurus was no clumsy brute. It was a master of stealth and precision. This was no ordinary beast. It was a finely honed machine, perfectly built, for one purpose: to reign at the top of the food chain in the late Cretaceous. In 1993, in the arid hills of Chocón in Patagonia, a fossil enthusiast named Rubén Darío Carolini made an extraordinary discovery. As he was casually driving through the area, his eyes caught sight of a bone, not just any bone, but one of tremendous size. Little did he know this seemingly mundane find would change the course of paleontological history. Carolini, though not a professional paleontologist, immediately recognized the significance of his discovery. He reported the find, and soon, experts from the University of Comahu arrived at the scene. What they uncovered was nothing short of groundbreaking. Fossil fragments of an enormous theropod dinosaur, parts of the skull, the spine, the hips, and the limbs, were found scattered across the area. It was clear that this was no ordinary dinosaur. This was a giant, one that had walked these lands millions of years ago. In 1995, after extensive analysis, the species was formally named Giganotosaurus carolinii, a tribute to the man who discovered it. It was an immediate sensation in the scientific world. With an estimated length of over 40 feet, this new giant rivaled the famous Tyrannosaurus Rex in size, but with a distinct set of features that made it unique. The skull alone measured more than 5 feet long, with teeth that were perfectly designed to slice through thick skin and muscle with ease. The discovery of Giganotosaurus not only added a new chapter to our understanding of prehistoric predators, but it also reshaped the narrative of dinosaur evolution. Unlike other giants like the T-Rex, Giganotosaurus was a member of the Carcharodontosauridae family, a group known for its shark-like teeth and massive size. However, Giganotosaurus wasn't just a big, powerful predator. It was a finely tuned killing machine, built for precision and stealth. The fossils discovered by Carolini and the subsequent studies have provided scientists with a detailed picture of how the Giganotosaurus lived, hunted, and survived in the harsh Cretaceous landscape. From its powerful jaw structure to its agility and hunting tactics, the discovery of the Giganotosaurus marked a major milestone in understanding the apex predators of the ancient world. But as remarkable as this discovery was, it only scratched the surface. The question remained: how did such a creature fit into the intricate web of life that existed millions of years ago? To uncover the truth, the journey into its biology, hunting strategies, and role within its ecosystem was only beginning. The Giganotosaurus wasn't just another large predator. It was a weapon in the purest form of evolution, meticulously sculpted to dominate the food chain. Its sheer size was only the beginning of what made it so deadly. Let's delve deeper into its anatomy to understand what made this dinosaur the apex predator of its time. First, let's talk about its head. Imagine a skull measuring nearly 5 feet in length, a sheer mass of bone designed not only for power but for precision. The Giganotosaurus's teeth were like serrated knives, curved and sharp, perfect for cutting through the flesh of its prey. These teeth were not meant to crush bones, like the T-Rex's, but to slice and tear through thick hide and muscle. Some of these teeth were nearly 8 inches long, almost the size of a butcher's knife. When the Giganotosaurus struck, it wasn't just a violent clash, it was a surgical incision, designed to deliver devastating, often fatal wounds with chilling accuracy. But the true strength of this creature wasn't just in its bite. The Giganotosaurus had a lean, aerodynamic build for its size, with long, powerful hind legs that gave it speed and agility in short bursts. While it wasn't the fastest dinosaur, it could sprint toward its prey with terrifying precision, thanks to its muscular legs and balanced frame. In fact, its long tail helped keep it steady while it ran, allowing for quick direction changes during a chase. The tail was not just a balancing act, it was an essential part of the Giganotosaurus's hunting style, helping it maintain control and swift movements as it navigated the dense forests of ancient Patagonia. Unlike the massive and stocky T-Rex, the Giganotosaurus was relatively more agile, with a body structure that allowed for efficient hunting. Its posture was upright, walking on 2 muscular legs, and its long neck balanced the enormous skull, giving it better sightlines for spotting prey. Its senses were likely quite sharp, enabling it to track its prey with precision in the dense, humid jungle. This dinosaur didn't simply rely on strength, it was a hunter of technique and strategy. Scientists believe the Giganotosaurus used an ambush-style hunting technique. Rather than chasing down prey over long distances, it would lie in wait, hidden in the undergrowth or behind thick vegetation, watching its prey from a distance. And then, in one powerful burst, it would launch itself forward, using the element of surprise to strike quickly and with overwhelming force. But how could such a large predator stay agile in such dense environments? It wasn't just its long tail and lean body. It was also the structure of its limbs. The Giganotosaurus had long, muscular legs, with powerful muscles that were able to propel its heavy frame forward, enabling it to make quick, powerful movements. It wasn't designed for endurance, but rather for precision and short bursts of intense speed. This made it an effective predator capable of bringing down even the largest herbivores, but only after carefully choosing its moment. It wasn't just the hunting tactics that set the Giganotosaurus apart, it was also its adaptability. The Giganotosaurus could eat a wide range of prey. It was opportunistic, preying on whatever it could overpower. Young sauropods, the gigantic plant eaters, would be its prime targets, especially those that were weak, injured, or straggling behind their herds. Yet it was also capable of hunting smaller, more agile dinosaurs and even other theropods. This versatility in diet, coupled with its intelligence and precision, made the Giganotosaurus an extraordinary predator. The Giganotosaurus was not alone in its ecosystem, far from it. The ancient world it inhabited was a vibrant, ever-changing landscape full of life, where every corner teemed with creatures, some enormous and some dangerously small. To understand the true power of the Giganotosaurus, it's crucial to explore the diverse web of life in which it existed. Let's start with the landscape itself. The land that the Giganotosaurus roamed wasn't the arid, windswept plains we might imagine today. Instead, Patagonia during the late Cretaceous was a lush subtropical environment, alive with towering trees, vast wetlands, and winding river systems. The thick vegetation provided both cover and food for a multitude of species, from the smallest insects to the largest dinosaurs. It was a world of both intense beauty and danger, where survival meant constantly navigating threats and competition. At the heart of the Giganotosaurus's world were the massive sauropods. These colossal herbivores with their long necks and gigantic bodies were the giants of the land, feeding on the abundant plant life. The Giganotosaurus, though large itself, was a predator in a world filled with giants, and these massive creatures would have been both prey and a challenge. Despite their size, the young, the sick, or the elderly sauropods were vulnerable to the swift and deadly Giganotosaurus, which was capable of using its speed and stealth to ambush them. However, the Giganotosaurus didn't solely rely on the sauropods. It was an opportunistic feeder, and it preyed on a wide variety of animals, including smaller theropods. One of its cousins, the Aucasaurus, was another predatory dinosaur that roamed the same land, though it was smaller and less formidable than the Giganotosaurus. Despite their differences, both were part of a food chain that kept the ecosystem in balance, with the larger predators at the top and smaller ones playing their part in controlling the herbivore population. The skies above were also filled with life. Pterosaurs with their vast wingspans flew above the forest, often in search of fish or smaller prey. Their presence cast giant shadows over the ground below, adding to the eerie atmosphere of the prehistoric world. These pterosaurs, although not direct threats to the Giganotosaurus, contributed to the rich diversity of this ecosystem. In the underbrush, smaller predators such as Oryxuchus, a crocodilian-like reptile, moved swiftly through the dense vegetation. These creatures hunted the smaller animals and were part of the complex food web. They too had to be wary of the larger predators, like the Giganotosaurus, which could have easily overpowered them if the opportunity arose. These smaller predators would also have had to avoid the Giganotosaurus, aware of the enormous threat that lurked in the shadows. Even the mammals that lived in this environment were part of this ecosystem. Creatures like Cronopio, a small insectivore, scampered through the foliage, always alert for danger. While not directly related to the giant dinosaurs, these early mammals contributed to the diversity of life in the region. The Giganotosaurus may not have hunted them, but it existed in a world where every creature, no matter how large or small, had to navigate the complex relationships that defined life. In this dynamic and often perilous world, the Giganotosaurus stood as the undisputed king of the food chain. Its ability to blend into the environment, to lie in wait, and ambush its prey with ruthless efficiency made it a perfect predator. But despite its power, the Giganotosaurus was part of a much larger, interconnected ecosystem, one where every creature, from the towering sauropods to the tiny elusive reptiles, played an important role in the ever-turning wheel of life. The Giganotosaurus may have been the apex predator, but even it had to coexist with the challenges and dangers that came with living in such a diverse, complex world. To fully grasp the magnificence of the Giganotosaurus, we must take a step back in time, long before this titan ever roamed the forests of ancient Patagonia. To understand its role as the apex predator of its ecosystem, we need to examine its evolutionary lineage, the family of creatures from which it descended, and the path that led to its dominance. The story of the Giganotosaurus begins millions of years before it was even a glimmer in the fossil record. The Giganotosaurus was part of a larger group of carnivorous dinosaurs known as the Carcharodontosauridae, a family whose name means shark-toothed lizards, a fitting title given their serrated shark-like teeth. These dinosaurs, towering giants in their own right, were some of the largest and most efficient hunters of the Cretaceous period. The Carcharodontosauridae family first appeared during the early Cretaceous period, roughly 130 million years ago. From the outset, these creatures were designed for one thing: hunting. The family's earliest members, like Carcharodontosaurus from Africa, were formidable predators that could reach lengths of up to 40 feet, making them some of the largest carnivores of their time. Their long, sharp teeth were built for slicing through flesh, not for crushing bones. They were powerful, fast, and had an incredible ability to adapt to their environment. As the Carcharodontosauridae evolved, different species would develop their unique traits, but the core characteristics of speed, power, and precision would remain. But as time passed, the family evolved and spread out across different continents, and the Giganotosaurus appeared in South America around 98 million years ago. It was a latecomer in the evolutionary timeline, emerging when many of its relatives were already well established in other parts of the world. By the time the Giganotosaurus arrived, other predators had already carved out niches in different ecosystems. For instance, in Africa, the Carcharodontosaurus ruled its domain, while in North America, the T-Rex would eventually dominate. Despite these challenges, the Giganotosaurus proved itself to be a true evolutionary marvel. Unlike its cousins in Africa and North America, the Giganotosaurus adapted to a very specific environment, Patagonia. Here, it faced its competition from smaller, swifter predators like Aucasaurus and the enormous sauropods that roamed the land. Yet the Giganotosaurus's unique combination of speed, stealth, and sheer size allowed it to thrive. Its ability to hunt in groups, an uncommon trait among large theropods, set it apart from its relatives. This social hunting strategy made it even more efficient in bringing down the giants that dominated the land. As we trace the Giganotosaurus's family tree, it's clear that its evolution wasn't just about size, it was about adaptation. The Carcharodontosauridae, or family, evolved alongside the ecosystems they inhabited, and by the time the Giganotosaurus entered the scene, it was perfectly equipped for its role as the apex predator in a diverse and vibrant world. Its powerful jaws, sharp teeth, and agile body made it one of the most advanced carnivores of its time. But the story doesn't end with the rise of the Giganotosaurus. As new discoveries continue to unfold, the understanding of its evolutionary journey is constantly being refined. With each new fossil, the life of this ancient predator becomes clearer, showing how it adapted to its environment and carved its name into the prehistoric history of South America. The story of the Giganotosaurus doesn't end with the extinction of the species millions of years ago. Its legacy lives on today, not just in the fossilized remains scattered across the arid lands of Patagonia, but in the way it continues to captivate the human imagination. From the moment the first bones of the Giganotosaurus were discovered in the early 1990s, it became a symbol of prehistoric power and an enduring mystery, one that still resonates with paleontologists, scientists, and dinosaur enthusiasts around the world. The discovery of the Giganotosaurus was, in many ways, a revelation. In 1993, Ruben Dario Carolini, a local fossil enthusiast, found the first evidence of this giant in the rocky hills of Patagonia. The subsequent excavation by paleontologists from the University of Comahue uncovered a partial skeleton, including parts of the skull and other key bones, which led to the species being named Giganotosaurus carolinii in 1995. This was a groundbreaking moment in the field of paleontology, as the Giganotosaurus was revealed to be one of the largest theropods to have ever lived, even rivaling the famous T-Rex in size and power. But the Giganotosaurus wasn't just a giant. It was a key figure in the understanding of ancient ecosystems. The fossil evidence revealed that the Giganotosaurus lived in a world of dynamic and diverse creatures. It hunted in the dense subtropical forests of Patagonia, where giant sauropods and other formidable predators roamed. Through the study of these fossils, scientists were able to piece together the details of this ancient world, providing us with a clearer picture of what life was like during the Cretaceous period. The legacy of the Giganotosaurus doesn't stop at the scientific community. It has captured the public's imagination through films, books, and media. Perhaps most famously, it was featured in Jurassic World, Dominion, where it faced off against some of the most iconic prehistoric creatures of the silver screen. But the Giganotosaurus's true impact goes beyond its cinematic portrayal. It represents the wonder and excitement that come with uncovering the mysteries of the past. Its discovery sparked curiosity, inspired countless generations of scientists, and became a symbol of the thrilling, often dangerous beauty of the prehistoric world. In many ways, the Giganotosaurus serves as a reminder of the unyielding power of nature and the creativity of evolution. It was a creature designed for one purpose: to dominate. With its precision and power, it reigned supreme in a world filled with giants. And though it has long since vanished from the earth, its legacy endures in the fossils that lie buried beneath the soil of Patagonia, in the books that teach us about its reign, and in the imaginations of people around the globe. The Giganotosaurus may have walked the earth millions of years ago, but its story is far from over. From paleontological discoveries to its place in popular culture, this legendary predator continues to remind us of the mysteries hidden in the ancient past and the incredible creatures that once ruled our world. Its bones may be ancient, but its legacy is forever etched in history, waiting to be rediscovered with every new excavation, every new story told.